Hey, y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and this is my Seattle housing market watch for February 4th, 2025. Well, we're starting off the new month, the shortest month of the year, and man, I'm ready for the spring to come, and not because of real estate in any way, but I really am ready for the darkness to be gone, for the days to get longer. They're starting to get longer here in the Seattle area, and to see the sun a little bit more. But as we're heading towards the spring, we're starting to see normal trends, right? We're seeing that more houses are coming on the market, not a ton, but more are coming on the market, and that the housing market's starting to pick up a little bit. And interestingly, this is all happening with mortgage rates still hovering right around 7%. As of today on Mortgage News Daily's survey, we're seeing rates averaging about 7.07 for a 30-year fixed rate. You can see the rest of the different rates here as well, but they've all been kind of hovering in their higher to highest places they've been in the last year, right? We're kind of hovering in that low sevens, haven't changed much so far in 2025. And I don't expect it to happen here for a little bit. We've talked about that for the past month or so. One of the predictions for 2025 is that rates are going to stay elevated for longer than people would like, and we might start to see them tapering off at the end of the year. But it might really be 2026 when we start to see rates coming down for mortgages. A big piece of that is getting inflation under control, which we're not quite sure if it is, right? We have a lot more uncertainty than we did before, and the Fed did not drop rates at the last meeting. So they're signaling that maybe we're good for now. And I think that's not necessarily going to help us get mortgage rates into the sixes, right? Or at least the low sixes or the high fives, like a lot of people are hoping for and projecting. Now, let's look at some of the market data. I'll give you a tiny sneak peek, right, at the market update, which will be coming out next week. And that is that Seattle's up 2% year over year, right, in January. So not a huge jump, but up slightly. King County was up 0.03%. So $855 was the median sales price in King County, at least as of the current data that is uploaded. I always wait a little bit longer so I can have all of the most relevant data. Seattle was $843,950 on average, so just slightly below the King County average here. And again, we're talking about medians, right? So it is a form of an average, but median sales price in Seattle. And then Snohomish County's median sales price, $765, up 4.8% year over year. Again, that's as of the data we have today. And we're seeing the supply slowly increasing. So there was a little bit more inventory available at the end of the month than there was last month. And we're seeing those same trends here as we're looking at the market watch for the week and the stats. Now, we actually have fewer listings that came on the market this last week than the week prior, ending the month of January, starting off February. I've got a few listings that'll be coming on in the next couple weeks. I would guess other agents are in a similar place. I think the end of the winter and the beginning of the spring is when you start to see a lot more of the houses coming on the market. It's nicer around here. The days are longer. People also know that real estate is seasonal, and typically the end of the winter, beginning of the spring is one of the ideal times to get your house on the market, at least as far as the supply versus demand curves intersecting. So for pending listings, we had 657 pending listings this past week. The previous week, we had 625 pending listings. We actually saw a little bit of an uptick there, but not much change to talk about. I mentioned the new listings, though, being down almost 50 new listings. Actually, let's see, quick math. Yeah, almost 50 new listings down week over week. And the sold listings, I mentioned this always happens at the end of the month, but we saw an uptick there of about 50 as well. More sold listings this past week versus the previous week. And as we're heading towards the spring market here, I think we're going to see more houses coming on the market. I would expect to see the inventory starting to pick up soon. It's still really, really tight. There's still a lot of competition. I have some clients that offered on a house today in Linwood, and we're seeing they already have 10 offers in hand. They might get some more, but it seems like, for that particular house, we're seeing competition. But all of the houses that we've looked at or even considered over the past week or two in Linwood, Bothell, so, depending on where you're at, right? That's King or Snohomish County, up on the north end, you're seeing competition. There's just not a lot out there. But as more houses hit the market, some of those houses would still have multiple offers. Others maybe would sit for a little bit of time if people had more choices. So I think, in there, you've got the competition. You've got a condo listing in Queen Anne. If you are looking for a condo, right, and you want to be super close to Amazon and the tech hub, it's a great unit, right? It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit. You've got views of downtown, the Space Needle. You're walkable down to the tech hub, but you can also walk right to Queen Anne. I personally love the location. I know my clients did, but that condo is still on the market and available. So it's part of it's the market, but also I think a big part of that is what type of house, where's the location. Certain locations are hotter than others, right? Even in the area. And certain types of houses, single family houses versus condos, are still quite a bit hotter in this market, even with the return to work orders for Amazon, and I would say coming probably for some of these other companies. So if you have questions about the market, what's going on, whether that's your situation or just general questions, I'm happy to be a resource for you. And if you want to see more content like this, please consider following along by hitting that subscribe button.